All right, we are going to draw this hallway in 1 point perspective, so you can stop the video at any time to catch up on what you need to do. We're going to start by taping the reference photo to the back of the last page that you worked on, and then this is the front side of a new page. We're going to start by drawing a horizon line through the middle. Now to do that, we want to measure from the serrated edge right here to the end is 11. That's at 5.5. So at 5.5 inches, make a little mark. Do the same thing at the other side, and then draw a line through the center for the halfway mark. We know that this is 14 inches long, so the halfway point along the horizon line is 7 inches. So that's going to be the center of the whole page. Let's go ahead and put an X there to mark the spot. And then the next step that we're going to do is to draw a diagonal line from the center of the page out to the corner of the paper. And please use a ruler for this. 1. And the corner of the size will be right here where this serrated edge is on your sketchbook paper. 2. 3. And 4. All right. And the next step will be to draw a small box in the center and then a large box further out. The small box will be used for this area right in here, which is the doorway all at the end, and we're going to make that 1 inch tall. So we're going to put the ruler at the half-inch mark and measure a whole inch, half-inch above the horizon line, half-inch below the horizon line. And then we're simply going to connect, make a horizon line parallel to, a horizontal line parallel to the original horizon line to connect the two orthogonal or diagonal lines. And let's go ahead and do the same thing here. And then connect these two. If you've done your measurements right, these should connect easily. And by measurements, I mean making sure that your horizon line is halfway in the middle of the page and your diagonal lines go to the corners. All right, let's make an 8-inch square now for the large opening, the doorway. And we do that by actually making an 8-inch lower edge. So line that up to 8. Just move the ruler up and down until you get to 8 inches on your ruler from here to here. Make sure that's nice and straight. And let's see if those line up. They should. Awesome job, Miss Fink. All right, so this works, and this is going to be the beginning of the foundation, the skeletal structure of our 1-point perspective hallway. All right, so the next thing we need to do is draw the orthogonal or diagonal lines for the ceiling. And you know what? We're just going to eyeball it. I want two. So one is going to be going through the center of the X here. And the measurement is about 2.5 inches, but you don't have to go crazy about making sure that that's right. You could measure, all right, 2.5 inches is here, and then that's where I'm going to make my second one. Why don't we just do that? All right, and then we're going to do the same thing for the floor tiles. We're going to make 2 orthogonal lines. Let's go ahead and measure 2.5 and 2.5, coming out from the central X. Down. And down. All right, that looks good. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to draw, let's see. Let me get the example right here. This is what our end goal is going to be looking like right here. So let's see, we need to now draw some lines for the doorways. Or let's start with the horizontal lines that go across left to right for the tiles on the ceiling. And notice how they get closer together down here and further apart as they go up, and the opposite is true down here. Closer together the further they are away from us and closer to this doorway right here, and then further apart as we go down. So I'm going to say we're going to start actually above this line. So we're going to say, let's make 10 or 12. Start about 1/4 inch. 1. And you can eyeball it, that's okay. 2, just get a teensy bit bigger each step. 3, keep it steady, keep it straight. 4, 5, 6, 8, 9. Put 9 this way. That looks good. Let's go down. Do the same thing. Try to repeat how far apart those horizontal lines are from each other compared to this side, top side. 4, 3, 5. All right. Now we're going to put in some doorways here. You can see doorways here. I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2. I'll just put in, before we do that, I'm going to go ahead and put in another orthogonal line for the tops of the doorways. It's going to make it easier so that we don't have a doorway top that looks funny. So this is going to be for the top of the doorway over there, and this will be for the top of the doorway on the other side, and you'll see what I mean in a minute. Okay, so now we're going to draw, let's go ahead and draw some doorways here. Let's turn this right side up. We're going to draw a doorway here. A doorway consists of 2 vertical lines. They are perfectly plumb, and they don't have to start at the edge of a tile, but you can start one on an edge of a tile if you want. And the top of the doorway is going to angle towards that square. That's why I drew that last orthogonal line there. And I stopped that at the edge of the 8-inch square. So that's one doorway. The width of the doorway is going to get a little bit wider the closer we get to the outside edge of that 8-inch square. And 3. And then looks like I'll just have room for one more doorway here. So I'll make it a little bit different than the other one. This decision is yours, how many doorways you want to put in. At least 3. And then over here, I'm going to put in a doorway here, and I'll put in 3 doorways on this side too. Instead of 4, I'll do 3. I'll do an odd number. And again, the top of these doorways is that last orthogonal line that I drew. Orthogonal only meaning diagonal. It's angling towards the one point. All right, so we have our doors. The next thing I would like to do is to go ahead and put these double doors in, and also figure out what we're going to do with this little edge of wall there. So this is what it should look like so far. We're going to create a door jamb right here. And so at the top of your 8-inch square, what we can do is make that a little bit darker so that you can see it better. And this is going to be, straighten this one up a little bit. Actually, we'll do this like second one down. And just to make this easier for you to see, we're going to erase these parts of the diagonal line so that you can see that it becomes the door jamb for the double doors. And just going to straighten this line right here. Look at it a little bit straighter. We're going to draw now the top of this double door. It's not very wide. It's going to angle up like this. This is the inside of the door. And then we're going to have it come down a little bit. And angle down like this. We're going to create an edge of the door. This looks like one long rectangle. It's a double line. So and this is a parallel to the horizontal horizon line. We're going to even that out, and then let's go ahead and erase some of these lines so that you're starting to see what we're doing here. I like to use a brush when I'm sweeping away the eraser instead of my hand, because then it gets smeary. All right, so you can see that's the door. What we can do is draw the door handle, which is like another rectangle. It's going to angle top. It's going to angle towards the X, and anything below the horizon line will angle up to the X. And there's the side of that rectangle, that handle that connects to the door. And then we have all right, let's do the same thing on the other side. This line angles up, this line angles down, and I'm going to say it's about 3/4 of an inch wide. Same thing over here. So let's make that . And then the side of the door. The bottom of the side of the door is going to be a line that's perpendicular to our horizontal line. And same with this one. And let's erase some of our extra lines here so we can see where we're going with this. Okay, we're going to do the top of the door handle fixtures. Oops, wrong. So I'm going to see here that above this doorway, we see a little tile trim. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in. And up here we have an empty space. So I'm going to go ahead and make that, let's go ahead and erase this for now. We're going to bring this down. And there we have the basic structure of the hallway with the orthogonal lines, the back doorway, and the double doors. And there's some things in front of the double doors that we could put in, like another doorway. So look at this one right here. The top of that doorway. And let's erase a few lines so that we can get a better feel for what we're looking at. I'm going to start erasing the horizon line somewhat. And we'll erase everything in the inside of this square except for the vertical line, which is going to be the center of the double doors there. All right, so this is your basic structure for building the skeleton of the one-point perspective of the hallway. I'll do another video for the little bit of shading, tuning up, and then color work.